it's Amber with the White Dog Farm, and I'm sitting out here in the bee yard. In fact, they're kind of buzzing. Just heard one blow by my head. There she goes. All right, so I'm going to install a nuke. And I'm going to let you watch. It won't take very long at all. I did not order bees this year. I wasn't planning on starting another hive, so I didn't order any. And then I found out that there was a beekeeper about an hour and a half away from here who had people order nukes who did not show up to get them, and he needed to unload them. And I thought, I think I want more honey next year. And if I'm going to have more honey, I need more hives. So why not, right? Why not? So we drove over last night, about an hour and a half, picked up the nuke, drove it home in the truck. Yeah, that's fun, driving home with thousands of bees in your truck. It really wasn't bad. They didn't even get out. It was fine. But I know that freaks people out when they hear that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead it finally stopped raining for like 5 minutes. And the weather I think it's about 60 degrees. So it's warm enough and it's currently dry enough that I'm going to go ahead and get these girls installed into their new home. I'm going to feed them a little bit because they're not making honey right now. So it won't hurt them to feed them a little bit, and it might help them get going. So I'm going to let you watch. So I'm going to get my smoker lit and we'll go get to it. So your smoker is really one of your best friends in beekeeping. It's really, really useful for working your bees and keeping them smoked, and it helps to keep them calm. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I'm told that it prevents them from being able to communicate with each other, and so that makes them behave more calmly. So it's a good idea to take time and get your smoker going good. I usually use packing paper to get it going, and then I will add a little bit of burlap to it. Actually, a little roll of burlap that I add in there, and take a minute to really make sure it's going well so that it stays lit for the entire time that I am working the hive. It's also just fun to do. I don't know why, it's just fun to get that smoker going. I also wear a bee jacket with the hat and veil, and I wear gloves. A lot of beekeepers don't. Most beekeepers will at least wear a veil because I don't know what it is about faces, but bees typically go for your face. So most of them will wear a veil. I just go ahead and wear high boots, the jacket, the hat, the veil, the gloves. I have not been stung in over a year of beekeeping, so protect yourself. Why not? So I had this hive set up yesterday. I went down and got it set up so everything would be ready to go when my bees got here. It would make it quicker and easier to get them installed. So I did not put frames in it yet. I went ahead and just set the boxes up so everything was ready. I will be putting the frames in here just shortly. So a nuke really usually comes with 5 frames of bees. So a hive will hold 10 frames. So I need to put 5 empty frames in there. So these are just regular brand new frames. I went ahead and painted some melted beeswax onto them. Make them a little bit nicer for the bees. Make them want to start working those frames pretty quickly. So that one there is actually an old frame that the bees had already started on. So they'll probably really like that one. But I'm putting my 5 frames in. I've got 3 on one side, 2 on the other. And then the other 5 frames will come from the nuke itself. going ahead and opening them up and giving them some smoke. And we're going to take a look at each frame as we put it in. The reason I put them in the middle is because that is usually where the nest will be. Bees like to congregate in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and put them into the hive in the order that they were in the nuc. And I'm going to keep them toward the middle part. So they're starting to really come out and buzz around now. So there we have a nice frame of bees. It looks like a little bit of brood, a little bit of honey. You probably can't see that on camera, but it's all there. And I'm gonna slowly, it's important when you're working with bees to go in slow motion. They do not like quick movements. So work as slowly as you can, work as quickly as you can in slow motion, if that makes any sense at all. Probably not, unless you're a beekeeper. The tool that I'm holding in my hand there is called a hive tool. It's just a little J-hook hive tool. And it's really useful in being able to do two things. It helps to pry the frames apart because the bees like to glue everything together. And sometimes it's a little hard to pry them apart because the bees use this substance called propolis that will help to glue it together. So you use that tool to separate them, pry them apart, and then you use the J part to kind of help lift them up out of the box. And you also want to push the frames as tightly together as you can. It's a pretty tight fit when you get 10 frames of bees in there. So you want to push them together so that things fit nice and snug. Now I'm going to put a feeder board on. I did have a crown board on there, but I took it off and I'm going to put a feeder board on there so that I can feed the bees. David Burns is a master beekeeper in Illinois. You can find him on YouTube, and he created this feeder board. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's the best. I've tried so many different ways to feed the bees, and in my opinion, this way is the best. I really like it. You do have to put an empty box over it because the quart jar will stand up above what your top board will hold, or your cover will hold. So you do have to put an empty box around it to give it some space. But it's a great way to feed them. It's not necessary to feed them this time of year because there is some pollen and some nectar out that they could eat. But since they're new, I'm going to give them a quart of sugar syrup just to help get them going. All right, well, that's it. There's a few left in the nuke box, but they will find their way into their new home here pretty shortly. I'll come back in about a week and check on them. They should start building out some comb and expanding probably pretty quickly. So pray for good weather. Hopefully everything works out. I'll keep you updated. Check back. Make it a good day.